weddings bring out true colors of people, whether that's friends or
They do.
family. And so,
Yeah,
unfortunately, you'll either be closer to some people or you'll just distance yourself from some people, which
yeah,
is unfortunate and
100%.
fortunate. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, 100%. Your types of people who aren't comfortable with not having the attention on them, they're the ones that are going to create the biggest amount of drama for you because they will naturally just need that attention. I've found with the weddings where I've experienced that, it is, yeah, the people who, and you can just kind of tell they're not probably necessarily like subconsciously doing it, but they're the ones that
Hmm.
can't not handle having the attention on them.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely see that as a common theme in the stories that are sent to
Mm,
me. It's,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah. A lot of times they're harmless, where it's like they're just doing little things, but then it starts adding up. Or it can be your story where the mother comes in and has the bridal suit.
And that was like, and the two, like, that was the last kind of thing that she did all throughout. There were little bits that she would do. She would call us up and all that kind of stuff. Like, there was just all these little moments. And then, yeah, that last on the day, it was just, yeah, it was interesting. It was like, because the couple were so lovely. And I just felt so bad that will forever also be at their wedding and something
Mhm.
that people will remember because, like I said, you couldn't not. She made it very well known that she had her security.
Yeah,
I
that's
remember trying to like
awful.
sneakily like take a photo to like send to my sister because I was just like, you will not believe what is happening right now.
That is insane. You're like, you'll only believe it if I have a picture because it's
Yeah.
so insane.
And I think because of how she looked like a bride. If you didn't know who the bride was, you would walk into this wedding and think she was the bride.
And she knew
So
exactly what
yeah.
she was doing.
Oh, she 100%.
That like makes my blood boil because it's like you can't have let your daughter have this one day. Just make it about
Yeah.
her,
And
please.
yeah, you hear like sisters and cousins and that, but like when you hear mother-in-law or the mother or like the father, it's just like, oh, come on, like just let them have their day.
Yeah, you're the parent. Let's be a little,
Literally.
yeah, literally, you are the parents. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I know we're getting towards the end of the time. I want to end this with it's called a weekly confessions game where I'm going to read people's confessions that they send me on Instagram, and I'm going to ask you to rate it from one means mild tea and 10 is absolute chaos. So here we go. Number one is my significant other and I were engaged for 6 years before we decided to secretly elope a month ago.
Two? I don't know. Kind of like, well, that's your decision. That's your life. So good for
Yeah.
you, I suppose, if
Yeah.
that's how you want to do it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
say go for it.
Yeah, right? I feel like that's to secretly do it. I mean, I'd be wanting to tell people, but I think that's awesome. Let's see. Okay. My mother-in-law forgot the rings on purpose on our wedding day in hopes her son would change his mind.
She needs to get a new mother in law. I'd say that's, see, it's so hard too because knowing what I know with what has happened at weddings, I know of much worse things that have happened, but like on a normal scale, that's pretty high. That would be like a 7 or 8.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll do a normal scale, not my scale.
You're just so used to it. You're like, doesn't even phase you anymore.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That checks all the boxes.
Yep, yep.
My thought is when I first see this, I wonder if all along the mother-in-law was playing that she was a fan of her. Because I'm like, you knew the mother-in-law didn't like you or was acting some
Mm.
way. I would never in a million years trust the mother-in-law to have the rings. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd
Yeah,
be
that's,
like,
yeah, like why does
do
she have the
not.
rings?
Yeah, that was my first thought. I was like, why are we giving the mother-in-law rings? I would be
Mm.
like, you can't have any responsibility today because I don't trust you. Unless it was
Nope.
just sneaky.
Yeah, unless she
Um,
like actually stole them.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Like got them from someone, took them from the best
Yeah.
man. So I'll just hold on to these.
Yeah, which then that does bump it up a notch.
Yeah. I did read a story once where the mother-in-law wanted to, it was either the mother-in-law or the grandma wanted to hold on to the ring for like a photo and then
Mm.
forgot where she put them. So they didn't have it for the ceremony and they had
Did
to
they
like,
find them though?
I think they ended up finding it later, like it fell on the ground somewhere. It was so traumatic because everyone's like ready for pictures and we're just like, we can't find it anywhere. And it was like the grandma or like mother-in-law that was like, I need to use it for a photo for something. And Yeah, never found it until after the ceremony.
I was going to say, like, never give anyone the rings, but I'm like looking back and I'm like, we gave our photographer the rings to get like
The
photos
photos.
with it beforehand. And I'm like, oh God, it could so easily happen.
I know. You would hope like the photographer would be like really careful or like do it so often that they're like, okay, this is gold. I can't lose this. Literally gold. Okay, last one. Not sending out save the dates because I don't want people to save the date.
My question would be, why are they invited?
I know. If everyone could see my face, I'm just like, what?
Like, why? If you don't
So
want them to
why?
save the date, then don't invite them.
Yeah. Okay. I'm wondering if it's one of those where like her parents are pushing her to have a big wedding and she doesn't want a wedding,
Yeah.
or is she not excited to get married?
Yeah. Because I feel like if you don't want people to save the date, well, then don't. Yeah, it's so odd. Like, if you don't want people to have that, then yeah, they shouldn't be coming to the wedding
That
in the
would be
first
my
place.
first clue that you don't want to get married or you don't want the wedding you're having. If you don't want people to
Mm.
come, then like you said, don't invite them.
Yeah.
Just do a
Yeah.
small wedding. You don't, no one has to have a big wedding.
No, literally, you can literally do whatever you want.
Yeah. It's
There
your
are no
day.
rules.
There are no rules. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's crazy the number of people, and I'm sure you have stories too, but it's crazy the number of people that are like not threatened, but bribed in some way by their parents. Like, oh, if you do this, I've heard of
Yeah.
parents that are like, maybe they were raised a certain religion. If you don't get married in this church, we're not going to pay for it. Or if you don't invite
Yeah.
so and so, we're not going to do this. It's crazy the number of like they hold it over their head. Like, if you don't do it this
Oh,
way.
100%. We even had it to some degree with our wedding because we had a destination wedding. People expected certain things because we had a destination wedding. And my kind of thing was, don't have to come.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome to not buy the ticket and fly over. If you choose to, well, then you're here for us.
Yeah.
Have a great holiday, have a fun day. But yeah, we did like a cocktail style wedding, and that was a bit of an issue because people were like, if you're flying people over, they need to have like a seated meal. And I was like, they'll probably actually end up with more food how we're doing it. Because again, I was very particular. I flew the company I used to work for, I flew them over to do my wedding. So I'm just like, they're going to end up with more food this way. But yeah,
Mhm.
I feel like there's always going to be opinions no matter what you do.
Oh yeah. I never get having opinions or like getting mad about how someone else is choosing to do their wedding. Because I've
Yeah.
seen comments about destination weddings. It's like, oh, it's ridiculous. It's so expensive. You don't have to go. You can just
No,
say, no, this is how the couple
literally.
wants to do
And
their
it's,
wedding.
yeah. And they're like, well, you should have a wedding here. And I'm like, well, no, that's what you want to do. So that's what you
Hmm.
should do.
You figure it
Have
out.
fun. Yeah. Figure it out. Come, don't come. Have fun.
Yeah, exactly.